it's Halicue, and welcome back to Hey, it's Halicue, the podcast that is for Black women who are reclaiming rest, radical joy, and power in a world that never expected us to survive, let alone shine the way we are shining right now. I'm so happy to be back, y'all. I'm your host, Halicue Hannah. I'm your Black girl soft life strategist. I am a proud Black woman, born and bred in Southern Mississippi, now living in Northern California, and this, my loves, is a special mini-sode, one that I think every single Black woman and young woman needs to hear. Today, we are going to talk about microaggression, the spiritual and energetic warfare that we've been taught our entire lives to shrug off, no matter how cruel and how intentional it was. It's left way too many of us walking around with unhealed, invisible wounds. And this episode was inspired by a conversation I had with y'all, my 92% community, after one of our most recent Substack, TikTok, and YouTube lives, after I had a very microaggressive conversation with some women of my acquaintance. But even during those lives, some of us asked, how do I protect myself from that slow, subtle erosion? And even if you didn't have the strength to ask it, we are going to talk about it today because I'm going to help us solve this problem, because I truly believe that Black women, we can't eradicate the people that try to use that kind of energetic warfare against us, but we absolutely are getting to a point where we can neutralize it. We can keep it from having any effect on us. So if you've ever asked yourself, how do I protect myself from that awful, low, subtle erosion? How do I deal with the things they say without losing my mind or joy? We're going to talk about it today. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, I just want to give a little acknowledgement. I have to always do this and say thank you to all of the subscribers over at our Hey, It's Halicue podcast community on Substack. Y'all know I love it over there. Get over there, follow us, subscribe to the podcast. If you really love what we're doing and you really want to support Black women and you want to support Black women's rest, even if maybe statistically you don't fit into what we call the 92%, get over there, become a paid subscriber. And thank you to my paid subscribers. You guys are going to have a little special something waiting for you on Substack. Once this episode is uploaded, it is going to magically appear in your inbox on Friday. So thank you all so much. Let's get into it. Y'all know I'm a nerd. I like to get started with some textbook definitions. A microaggression is simply a subtle, often unconscious or coded act of discrimination that communicates a hostile, derogatory, or negative message towards someone based on their identity. For us, Black women, and especially Black women of the 92%, these messages hit hard, and they usually hit early. They normally sound like, "You're really articulate," or "You're not like other Black girls I know." Or how about this one? "Not only have I gotten this, my daughters have gotten this." Can you imagine, like, generational microaggressions? Oh my God, the stuff Black women have to put up with. How about this? Or like, "Black? You're like the whitest Black girl I know." Oh my God, I've heard that so many times. "Can I touch your hair? You're really coming across as intimidating and loud right now." Like, that's what microaggressions sound like. Sometimes they even come as questions. Sometimes they're masked as compliments, but the effects are always the same: death by 1,000 pinpricks. And they have been using Black women of the 92% as their pincushion for far too long. And today is where it stops. I'm telling y'all, I had to deal with this week. I'm a Black woman. So as I have navigated my life as a Black woman in America, a Black woman from Southern Mississippi, and a Black woman that lives in a very progressive and liberal part of California, I still deal with microaggressions. I'm not going to get into why I made the decision to go, but I went. And a white woman in a open, very casual space came at me sideways, smiling, of course. And why did it happen? Why did she get triggered? It's truly my feeling, again, that microaggressions are spiritual and energetic warfare that are used against Black women when we are too confident, when we're too unbothered, and we're too joyful. And that's exactly what I was given that day. I had just come out of an amazing class where I always feel wonderful. The music is beautiful. It's Latin, it's Black, it's diasporic. I'm a dancer. And I came out, even though I was sweaty and my hair was stuck to my head, I was confident, unbothered, joyful, effervescent, conversational. People were getting the full on, natural, authentic Halicue show because I was in my happy place. I was in a very, very good place. And the truth of the matter is, it makes white women, this has been my personal experience, it makes white women uncomfortable when we're too happy. When we're too joyful, when we're too creative, we're too intellectual, when our breadth of knowledge is a little intimidating to them, when we come across like intellectual heavyweights, plus the beauty, the glowing skin that's moisturized, the curls that are bouncing, thank you, Beyonce, and sacred, she really couldn't handle it. She had a really tough time with a Black woman being the smartest, most interesting person in the circle. So she tried to use the classic tools. Subtle shade and also on subtle shade. But Black women don't have no problem with shade. So, off top, if you're listening to this and you're not a member of the 92%, and quite honestly, you're not one of our accomplices, you may think, can't you take a little whatever? Black women, we know shade. We grew up playing spades in our household and Uno. We know how to deal with somebody giving us a hard time and how to roll with the punches and laugh it off. We know how to deal with that. I just want to say that in our defense. But she tried to use the classic tools, this subtle shade, discrediting questions, performative confusion. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? But this time, my God, I was in the most quiet, calm place. I didn't fold. I stayed rooted in what I knew. I answered with the truth. I didn't backpedal. I didn't soften myself to make her comfortable. I even said to this entire group of women, before I participate in this question, we could keep talking about what we were talking about, which was very innocuous. But if y'all want to go here, are y'all ready for some real talk? And of course, yes. Nobody's ever ready for real talk. And then they really get the Halicue shit. They get full, authentic me. They get the real answers. They get Brainiac Halicue. They get Dartmouth College Halicue. They get Triple Leo Halicue. They get Venus and Gemini Halicue. Okay? And what happened? What was the result? She shrank, not me. And let me tell you, as I was driving home, because I was like, I got to get out of here. I got someplace to go. I got someplace to be. So I literally left him. I was like, hey, I have faith in you all, because the conversation was about the election. What is the problem with white women not having political will? How come y'all can't get it together? You could get it together and turn this whole thing around in 2 years if you had the intestinal fortitude and the political will. And let me tell you, the last thing I said was, hey, I have faith in y'all that you can figure out how to fix this, because it's on you. Bye. And then I moonwalked the fuck off and got in my car and drove home. But as I was crossing the street, I felt this pitter patter in my heart. And I was wondering to myself, hell yeah. Because I am a Leo. I'm very introspective. What are you feeling right now? Are you mad? Are you going to get off this group chat, or is something else going on? And y'all, I realized I was happy. I felt light. I felt free, because I believed everything I said. I knew I was right. Because I know when somebody asks me about like my political opinions, I'm Halicue Hannah. I am the creator and the host of the Hey, It's Halicue podcast, the first and only podcast for Black women of the 92% by Black women of the 92%. Where does that name come from? It comes from that piece of paper that I pull up every single time I mention the words 92%. It's a percentage of us as Black women that showed up in the 2024 election, and we did the right thing as a collective to keep pushing, pulling, dragging us as a nation forward. And the nation gave us the middle finger. And I realized in that moment, oh my God, I'm happy. I'm truly liberated. I'm free. I don't give a damn what these women think. One was there, that's my friend, and I think she was kind of panicking internally. She even said to me later, and I talked to her about this. She even said, she goes, Halicue, you're always so happy. Like, I didn't know whether or not something was really wrong. I was like, girl, I only smile now because I'm really happy. And I realized I was really happy. I was light and free. And I realized, oh my God, that's the answer. I understand why microaggressions happen. They happen because we as Black women show up in spaces. Doesn't matter if it's academic, doesn't matter if it's corporate, doesn't matter if it's a public place, a place of worship, a third space. When we walk in there too moisturized, too hydrated, too smart, too happy, too creative, too beautiful, it triggers them. Because we have a tendency when we're in that space to suck all the air out of the room. That's because there's magic in our melanin, but that's a topic for another time. But let me tell you, when we stay in our truth, microaggressions lose their grip. And again, I want to make sure we're very clear here. This is an educative episode of the podcast. Let's name it clearly. White women, in my experience, are often the masters of the microaggression. Why? Because they weaponize niceness. They wrap shade in a smile. And they are deeply, deeply, deeply triggered by our joy. Not all of them, but most of them. The ones that I've come into contact with. Some of y'all out there, and especially if you call yourself a friend of mine, You're bona fide. I've already put you through the paces. I know you're anti-racist. I know you're anti-racist. I know your husband's anti-racist. I know your children are anti-racist. I know you do anti-racism work in the community if we're friends. So I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all are accomplices. You're not who I'm talking about. But it is true. This is how a lot of white women operate. Why? Because many have been taught that control equals safety. That's one of the reasons they're so dedicated. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are so dedicated to being skinny. Because in the market to get a man, which motivates very, very, very many of them, that shows a certain type of discipline, that they have a certain type of control, the ability to starve themselves or work themselves out, like down to a size 0. And to be proud about it. It shows something about them. They like that gap between the thighs because what it says is, especially to men, is I know how to hurt myself in order to meet a standard that makes you look good. And I'll keep doing it forever. And I'll pull my face tight and I'll Botox and I'll do all of these things to make sure I'm the trophy that's on your arm until you decide to get another one. Right? So a lot of that with them is about control, even in the workplace. And Black women in the 92%, our freedom, our confidence, our softness, our beauty, it disrupts that sense of order. When a beautiful Black woman walks into a space, fully embodied, confident, honest, joyful, there's an internal panic. This shakes up everything they know. The microaggressions are their spiritual and energetic attempt to shrink you back down. They can't slap you in the face with a picture, 12 Years a Slave. I hate that movie. I'll never see it again. They can't slap you in the face with a picture and then order you back into a kitchen. They can't call you a uppity bitch in front of other people, especially not in liberal spaces. They're not going to do that, but they can use that microaggression. Oh my God. And the thing that's really awful as I think about this, y'all know I've had to talk to my own daughters about this. About things like this and what they are. My kids, they're literate in all this. They understand all this. They know what microaggressions are. But it's a shame and it's a crime that Black girls and young Black women have to deal with this. Like, we literally start getting hit with this mess as children. It comes across like, you're the whitest Black girl I've ever seen, or you're not like other Black girls, or, oh, you're different. These are not harmless phrases. They are early stage programming that are meant to separate us from ourselves and each other. They're meant to rattle us. If we walk into a space with mind, body, spirit, all connected, vibing, radiating happiness, beauty, flyness, creativity, the way that we do, the way that they imitate constantly, that's why they do it. Microaggressions and the people that use them, they are designed, they are trained to fracture our identity, to isolate our pride, and to dilute our magic. So, what do? First of all, we know what they are. Y'all know what they are now. It's not just, I don't know why that bitch at work. No, it's she's being microaggressive. We know what they are. Don't gaslight yourself. And let me be honest with you, I'm never going to gaslight you. I am here as a thought leader and a content creator for Black women in the 92%. I am not here to gaslight you. As my friend Ariana says, I'm here to gas you up. What else can we do? We can speak the truth when it is safe. You don't have to fight. Some of us like to fight. Her name is Peaches. Shout out to Nina Simone. For women. You don't have to fight, but you can speak clearly and confidently. Honesty is our protection. Honesty. And I know we can't always be honest in all places. I know we can't always be forthright in all places like the workplace. That's why I pray every day that one more Black woman of the 92% is liberated from the hell of the corporate landscape. Some of us are corporate baddies. We're meant to be working it out in politics and in the corporate world. It's our happy place. It's our comfort place. Some of us, and for those of you, God bless you. I love you. But in case you're having a hard time with it, let this be your own battery that recharges you when you have to deal with it, because I know you're dealing with it. So speak the truth when it's safe. What else can we do? We can ground ourselves in joy. They can't touch you if you stay centered in your own light. So what is it that makes you happy? The thing that made me happy was my amazing dance class. It's hardly any brown women in that class, but I love our energy of that class. A lot of us have known each other for a long time. I love the music. I love the instructor. His name is Ephraim Buzo. Y'all check him out. He's wonderful. He's an instructor. He himself is a healer. In my mind, he's a shaman. He has this wonderful, benevolent, masculine spirit. So I was happy. I'm not a happy chick if I'm not dancing. If I can get to at least 3 of my dance fit classes and at least one strength training class a week, I'm not a happy camper. But I was very happy. And that's almost always when it happens. One of my sisters had to deal with it very recently, like a couple of months ago. Where did it happen? I don't know where it happened, but it was at some social gathering where I know she showed up fire. If she was one of my sisters, we come from a long line of foxes. I know she was looking good wherever she was. Yeah. And she triggered some people. And that's where her microaggressions came in. She asked me, how do I handle it? And that's when I started to organize my thinking about this. So ground yourself in joy. It's going to trigger them, but who cares? We need to be in a state of joy. They use the microaggressions to shake us out of that because it's powerful. They wouldn't shake us out of it if it didn't do them some harm. Can you imagine the kind of life you're living where you're so miserable that you consider somebody else's happiness as a weapon? Like I'm doing something to you. You're so used to being centered. This is why I say white women are the ninjas of this. This is their special secret energetic weapon. They've been honing it for years. And I think you only use it because you're miserable or you're afraid of being taken out of the top spot. You love being centered. You think that you're someone or something special. You've been taught that your entire life, and you've been taught that no matter what, you'll always be better than the black girl or the brown girl. And when something happens to make them question that, it's wildly problematic. So they fight back, and they fight back in a way that it's subtle, it's insidious, and it's meant to hurt us. So it's okay if we repel back. We're going to set energetic boundaries. No one deserves access to your spirit. They also don't deserve access to your time, your ideas, or your presence without paying you. And that's something we're going to work on over the next 4 years as Black women, the 92%. But those things are sacred. Your spirit is sacred. And one of the number one things we can do to protect ourselves is know this is coming and is probably going to trigger them. And instead of changing ourselves, shrinking ourselves, code switching, making ourselves smaller, we're going to stay grounded in our joy, and we're going to set our own energetic boundaries. And we do that in different ways. I love talking about protection and how to protect ourselves energetically as Black women. And we're going to be talking all about that in the next episode. That was supposed to be this week's episode, but I recorded a special episode because we've had such a good conversation about this. And I was asked so many questions. And I also want to make sure it exists. It lives here on Beyonce's internet as a learning and educative tool. There's already a video of my last live up on YouTube. Y'all go watch it. It's where I talk about microaggressions, and I'm in community with other Black women. We're talking about it. We're sharing our experiences in real time. So y'all go check that out. But I wanted this to exist as a little playbook, as a little primer that lives forever on the internet. Literally, microaggressions 101. Like, what are they? So that we can always go to it. You'll always have it as an access point because we know they're trying to erase us. They're trying to erase our history. They're trying to erase our stories. That's another reason that the Hey, It's Halicue podcast exists, and I create it as often as I can as a love letter to Black women of the 92%. This is a record. So we're setting energetic boundaries. All right. These women do not deserve access to our spirit. And we're going to stop walking into situations like that, like an egg without a shell. That's why we're having this conversation. And the other way we're going to find it is to find our community. That's why the 92% exists. Because when we share these stories and we share these examples, when we hold hands across the internet or in actual real spaces with each other, we heal each other. I know it's not always easy, especially in corporate or academic spaces where we feel like we can't push back. But the answer to me, it doesn't start with confrontation. It starts with awareness, with our grounding, with knowing that you're not crazy. You're being targeted, you beautiful, bold, brilliant Black woman of the 92%. It's not that's just the way they are. No, it's because of us. They can't put us in chains anymore. So they try to wrap us in this corporate slavery, this mental slavery, this emotional slavery. Why, I wonder? What are they afraid of? Why are they afraid of Black women operating at our highest octave, vibing high? Why is that? I wonder what they're afraid of having happen. I say, let's give it to them and find out. This conversation starts with grounding, knowing you're not crazy, not letting them crazy make you, and know that it's intentional, that it's malicious. It's meant to hurt us. And we know how we act when somebody's trying to hurt us. We know what we do when somebody's trying to hurt us or hurt our children. And that's another tip. When these things come at you, don't think of dealing with it. You're going to deal with it as a grown woman. But take it seriously. Take it as seriously as if you were watching somebody aim this BS at your child. This episode is just the beginning of a larger conversation. Next week's podcast is going to be all about protection, how to spiritually and energetically shield yourself from harm in all hostile environments. Because again, that's what microaggressions are. They are spiritual and energetic warfare. And quite honestly, we're done pretending otherwise. In the meantime, y'all head on over to my Substack and subscribe to Hey, It's Halicue. Become a paid subscriber. That's where I go even deeper in the real-time tools. I would love for y'all to go over there right now under this post, under this podcast episode, and y'all tell me about y'all's experience with these microaggressions. Tell me the last time you experienced one. Tell me the one that was the most hurtful so we can be in community with each other and transmute it. One of my favorite creators just said that as Black people, we are transmuters. We saw it in the movie Sinners, taking a moment and a story of pain. Do y'all remember when the older blues singer was telling a story about his homeboys on the chain gang and how it hurt him so hard he started moaning and the moaning turned into singing? Y'all remember that? That's what we are. We transmute. So get over there. Tell us about it so we can hold hands and we can transmute this energy digitally. We use real-time tools. We use journaling rituals, soft life strategies, not just going to the spa. No. How to keep our mind, our bodies, our spirits calm and clear and clean. And y'all go over to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube and watch the full minute live with our 92% community. It's on YouTube right now. I've got a few more to do. I did a lot of lives this week. And if y'all enjoy me on live, I appear live as often as I can, 2 days on, 1 day off on YouTube, TikTok. I'm now able to go live to Instagram and Substack. I figured out how to do all of this multi-streaming. So y'all get into that and enjoy it, especially over on YouTube, okay? All of the lives are full of real-time wisdom, laughter, and strategy. And y'all can call in and ask questions if you want to. In the lives, you can do it through Riverside, and I'll start dropping the links to that in case y'all want to really, really, really participate beyond just doing hearts and digital gifts and things like that. And please drop your own experiences in the comments over on Substack. Tell me, what's the worst microaggression you faced? What did you say back? What do you wish you had said? Because Black women are the 92%. As this last election where we tried to drag these people kicking and screaming to freedom again, what I do know is this: we have earned our joy, our honesty, and our brilliance. And the most radical thing we can do is keep showing up unbothered, lit up from the inside out, and completely honest, unapologetically ourselves. I love y'all. Stay soft, stay powerful. And I'll see you next time on Hey, It's Halicue. And as I say every week, to you, bold, beautiful Black women of the 92%, and the people that support Black women and our rest and our restoration and our reinvestment in ourselves. And to our accomplices, because I know y'all are out there. There was one with me during this incident. I know y'all accomplices. Y'all are out there. Y'all trying to learn. I know. Y'all can get there. You're going to teach yourselves. You're going to figure it out. To us, Black women in 92%, all the love in my heart. And to everyone else, the monitoring, lurking spirits, y'all know who you are. The ones that smile in our face and then think of the next thing you can say to us to throw us off our game, to rearrange things on our desk, to write our name 2 fonts smaller in the email at work. Because we know y'all do that. We know y'all do stuff like that. To y'all, have the day that you voted for. See y'all next week.